Welcome to our journey through history's most extraordinary women leaders. From ancient queens who defied empires to modern rulers who reshaped nations, we will explore their stories in chronological order, witnessing the rise of power, courage, and vision across the centuries. Let's step back in time and discover how these remarkable women changed the world forever. Hatshepsut, pharaoh in the shadow of gods. In an age where power wore a man's face, Hatshepsut broke the mold and carved her name into stone. As Egypt's first great female pharaoh, she did not rule as a queen, but as a king. Donning the royal beard and male regalia, she took the throne with divine authority, claiming to be chosen by Amun himself. Her reign wasn't defined by conquest, but by prosperity. She opened trade routes, restored temples, and commissioned some of the most magnificent monuments in Egyptian history. None more iconic than her mortuary temple at Deir el-Bahari, a timeless testament to ambition and vision. Hatshepsut's legacy was so powerful, her successors tried to erase her name from the record. But history remembered. Thousands of years later, her story re-emerged from the sands, stronger than ever. Tomyris, the queen who defied an empire. Tomyris, warrior queen of the Massagetae, an eastern Scythian people, stood unshaken where empires sought submission. In the vast steppes of Central Asia, she led a nomadic nation bound not by walls, but by courage. When Cyrus the Great of Persia tried to conquer her lands through deceit, capturing her son and driving him to death, Tomyris vowed a revenge no king would forget. She led her armies into battle with fury and purpose, ultimately defeating the Persian forces in a bloody confrontation. Legend claims that she found Cyrus's corpse, severed his head, and dipped it in a bag of blood, declaring, "Drink your fill of blood, for that is what you crave." Tomyris wasn't just a queen. She was the embodiment of vengeance, justice, and strength. In the face of imperial ambition, she chose war and won. Her legacy still echoes across the steppes as the queen who defied the world's greatest empire. Cleopatra VII, the last pharaoh of Egypt. Cleopatra VII was more than a queen. She was Egypt's final flame before the Roman storm. Born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, she was the last active ruler of ancient Egypt. Fluent in several languages and deeply educated, Cleopatra wielded intelligence as deftly as power. She was the first in her dynasty to speak the native Egyptian tongue, embracing her people and their gods, and ruling not only with strategy, but with heart. When Rome looked eastward, Cleopatra stood as both ally and obstacle. Her legendary relationships with Julius Caesar and Mark Antony were not mere romances. They were political gambits in a high-stakes struggle to preserve her kingdom's independence. But even her brilliance couldn't halt the tide of empire. After the fall of Antony and the Roman siege of Alexandria, Cleopatra chose death over humiliation, ending both her life and Egypt's ancient monarchy. Cleopatra remains one of history's most enduring figures, a symbol of beauty, power, defiance, and complexity. She didn't simply rule Egypt, she embodied it. And in her fall, the ancient world itself seemed to bow. Boudica, the warrior queen who shook an empire. Boudica, the fierce queen of the Iceni tribe, rose against the might of the Roman Empire in 1st century Britain. After the Romans brutalized her people, confiscating their lands, enslaving her daughters, and humiliating her, Boudica ignited a rebellion that echoed across the ancient world. Clad in battle, she led thousands of warriors in a desperate, fiery campaign to reclaim freedom. Her revolt destroyed Roman settlements, including Londinium, modern London, and terrified the empire's legions. Though ultimately defeated, Boudica's spirit never broke. She became a symbol of resistance, courage, and unyielding defiance against oppression. Her battle cry still resonates through history as a call to fight for justice and sovereignty. Boudica's legacy transcends time. She remains the legendary queen who dared to challenge Rome itself, proving that even the mightiest empires can tremble before the will of a determined woman. Theodora, the empress who changed an empire. Theodora rose from humble origins to become one of the most powerful empresses in Byzantine history. As wife and co-ruler of Emperor Justinian the Firman, she wielded immense influence behind the throne during the 6th century CE. Her sharp intellect and unwavering courage helped steer the empire through political intrigue, religious conflicts, and social upheaval. Known for her fierce advocacy for women's rights, Theodora championed laws against human trafficking and improved the status of marginalized groups. During the Nika riots, when Constantinople was on the brink of destruction, her resolve is credited with saving the empire from collapse. Theodora was more than a consort. She was a visionary leader whose strength, political savvy, and compassion left an indelible mark on Byzantine history. Her story proves that even in the shadows of emperors, women can shape the fate of nations. Wu Zetian, the empress who defied tradition and ruled a dynasty. Wu Zetian rose from humble beginnings to become the only woman to rule China in her own name as emperor. During the Tang dynasty's golden age, she seized power in a male-dominated imperial court through intelligence, strategy, and ruthless determination. Her reign marked a rare era where a woman held the ultimate authority over one of the world's greatest civilizations. Wu Zetian was a visionary leader who expanded the empire, promoted talented officials regardless of their background, and encouraged Buddhism as a unifying force. Despite fierce opposition and scandalous rumors, she consolidated her rule with unmatched political skill and transformed the Chinese imperial system.
I have made my decision.
Her legacy is complex. Both a controversial figure and a trailblazer, Wu Zetian shattered gender barriers, proving that leadership transcends gender and that a woman's will can shape history's course. She remains one of the most powerful and enigmatic rulers in world history. Razia Sultana. Razia Sultana was the first and only female ruler of the Delhi Sultanate, breaking centuries of tradition in 13th century India. Known for her courage and wisdom, she defied societal norms by ascending the throne in a male-dominated world. Razia governed with fairness, promoting justice and efficient administration. Despite opposition from nobles who resisted her rule, she proved herself a capable leader and military commander. Razia Sultana remains a symbol of empowerment and resilience in South Asian history. Joan of Arc, the maid who changed the course of a war. Joan of Arc, a young peasant girl from Domremy, rose to become one of France's greatest heroes during the 100 Years' War. Claiming divine visions, she inspired the French army to lift the siege of Orléans and led them to several key victories against the English. Her unwavering faith and courage rallied a nation on the brink of defeat. Despite her youth and humble origins, Joan challenged the norms of her time by donning armor and leading troops into battle. Captured by the English and tried for heresy, she was tragically executed at just 19. Yet, her legend endured. She was canonized as a saint and remains a symbol of bravery, faith, and patriotic sacrifice. Joan of Arc's story transcends centuries as a testament to the power of conviction. Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen who shaped an era. Elizabeth Vane, daughter of Henry VIII, ascended the English throne in 1558 during a turbulent era of religious conflict and political intrigue. Known as the Virgin Queen, she ruled for 45 years, transforming England into a global naval power and a beacon of the Renaissance. Her reign, called the Elizabethan era, witnessed the flourishing of arts, exploration, and literature, with figures like Shakespeare emerging under her patronage. Facing threats from Catholic powers and internal conspiracies, Elizabeth used her intelligence and diplomacy to maintain England's independence and strengthen its influence. She defeated the Spanish Armada in 1588, a defining moment that secured England's position as a dominant sea power. Elizabeth's leadership style combined shrewd politics with a charismatic public image, inspiring loyalty and stability. Her legacy is monumental. Elizabeth I is remembered as one of England's greatest monarchs, who shaped the destiny of a nation and set the stage for the modern British Empire. Catherine the Great, the Empress who expanded an empire. Catherine the Great rose from a minor German princess to become one of Russia's most powerful and enlightened rulers. Ascending the throne after the overthrow of her husband, Peter III, she embraced the ideals of the Enlightenment and sought to modernize Russia. Her reign marked a golden age of territorial expansion, cultural growth, and political reform. Under Catherine's leadership, Russia extended its borders across Eastern Europe and into the Black Sea region, becoming a dominant force on the global stage. She championed education, arts, and the sciences, inviting Western thinkers to her court and founding schools and academies. Despite challenges and court intrigues, Catherine maintained strong autocratic control, skillfully balancing power and progress. Catherine the Great remains a towering figure in history, a ruler who reshaped Russia's destiny and left a legacy of strength, ambition, and cultural flourishing.